Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Daisel. I'm from the Unisa Directorate for Counselling and Career Development. A very warm welcome to all of you who have joined us this afternoon. Our career talk this afternoon will focus on hearing more about the opportunities provided by mother tongue media. I've also got my colleagues with me, Mrs. Mando Makanya, as well as Mr. Bekim Zorbe. Just before we start the program, I just want to say that we will have a presentation by the colleagues from Mother Tongue Media, after which you are welcome to ask live questions. So we will unmute or activate the microphones at that stage. You are ever welcome to post any questions in the chat as you're listening to the presentation. So just to introduce our speakers, we've got Andrew Dabbs as well as Sibongiseni Gumbi with us. They are both from Mother Tongue Media. Mother Tongue Media combines the individual talents of journalists, writers, and content producers online and enables them the opportunity to monetize their online content. They're a network of talented Indigenous language content producers who wish to build an audience and connect with the audience in their language. They developed in South Africa for South Africans to build South Africa and speaking to the right people in their language, no more guessing which audience you are reaching. So Andrew and Sibongiseni, the floor is yours. Very warm welcome to you as well this afternoon.
Cool, thank you so much. That was such a good introduction. I was wondering if we wrote it. It was so good. We might have to steal it.
You did.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, my name's Andrew Dabbs. I have been in media and advertising for about 15 odd years, predominantly in the online space. And there was definitely a gap and opportunity within the space to really give back and support local publishers, but most importantly, providing opportunity for guys to actually start monetizing their content in their own language. So that's where Mother Tongue Media came about. And yeah, we're there to connect in culture and specifically online. So I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with this quote. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. And that's really the whole presence or the whole opportunity here from an Indigenous language perspective. Come on, computer. So if you consider how important this is, 91% of South Africans use a language other than English at home. But I'm sure as you see most of your advertising, it really comes to us in English, which actually makes no sense at all. And if we further reiterate the point and why it's important from an online perspective, the most popular shows on paid TV and free to air are all Indigenous language skewed. The most popular radio stations, you guys guessed it, Indigenous language skewed. And also 2 out of the top 3 publications as well are actually written in isiZulu. So what we're really trying to do here is drive personalized impact. The cookie was supposed to drop off, but Google kept it, even though the cookie from a digital technical perspective actually really isn't that important. It's about how do you address an audience and a consumer online, and that's where this network of publishers we work with comes into play. So we're the only network of Indigenous language publishers in South Africa. We've got about 80 odd publishers in our network currently, and we're looking to grow that. I think the big thing for us here is that we've got great clients, we're getting good traction, but for us, if we can help empower more people and build it up to 200, 300, 500 sites, you're really starting to give journalists, content producers an opportunity to really flex a bit, because you can't ignore 500 people. And then we're currently looking at about 10 million South Africans from a reach perspective, and you can see here just a bit more, you can target people from a cultural perspective, so language first, site specific, if you're looking for football content for example. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities within this closed ecosystem that we're building. And just to reiterate where we are currently, the most prominent languages we have are isiZulu and isiXhosa, but there's a lot of room to grow, and there's still a lot of room to grow within those languages. So I know Bongs, who will talk a bit we'll talk a little bit. We're predominantly getting a lot of really good Zulu publishers, but yeah, there's definitely need for other publishers. And the joy about online as well is you can write about anything that's interesting to you. So we've got guys who are interested in motoring. Culture's huge, but there's still so much guys can write about, from clan names, war cries, dream interpretation. It really is, like, I'm sure as content producers yourself, you know that the options are endless. So yeah, just some case studies, just to show, currently we don't, and we sort of will probably always avoid it, work with gambling and and the likes of those sort of advertisers. And the main reason is because we really want to be staying true to having quality advertising to a quality audience, and seeing great results, which we do. So here's an example where we worked with Carling Black Label. One of the important things about the network we've built here is that the guys get a lot of brand viewability over time. Like I freelance and I work on a client at the moment where nobody actually sees their content. It's all on social media. Like most of the ads are seen for less than a second. While we're looking at like 50 seconds. So it's one of those things that the wheel has to move at some point as well. And I'm sure if you guys have ventured down this road and you have built up your own social pages, etc., that you'll see that like you just can't monetize it. So yeah, so with that and having good quality content, good audiences, you're getting better results. We push for 100% viewability, and you're also getting really great click-through rates. The same for telecom as an example, over 30 seconds, much higher click-through rates, so engagement. And what was quite fun here as well, you could see like the Xhosa writers sort of got much longer viewability than like the Zulu writers, for example. So these sort of nuances we then report back to the clients and then hopefully get more business from them moving forward. This was one of my best ones when we really started out on Nedbank. An example here where guys actually took some of the publishers we work with have physical publications, and they took the online editorial and then moved that across into the physical print medium. But that's not a requirement. Like, you don't have to have a print publication. And we actually find that the publishers we work with who just focus online and that's where their commitment is, they're the ones who actually benefit the most. I'm not sure if you can hear the sound, but sorry, those are usually a bit loud. But this was one as well with DSTV. Like, you'll see DSTV is doing a lot of indigenous language content. So they came to us when they launched Nguni News because we had these two audiences. So no guessing about who your audience is, which is so important. So why work with us or come on board? 100% responsible media and driving inclusivity and diversity online. That's really what we're here and what we're trying to achieve. Last year alone, it's a very, very small business. We're able to pay over R1 million to publishers in South Africa. And we're probably already on track for that this year already. And then also from that side, we've put a lot of money into skills development, training and development. So about 250K into that. And yeah, you'd be joining the only network of publishers where an advertiser can address an audience in their own language, which comes with a huge amount of opportunity and power over time. So what are the opportunities with us? So if you've got a website, that's generally the easiest for us. Then we can work with you, get you tagged up, and start seeing how we can push advertising there. If you've got a large social page and you need a website, then we can always have a conversation to see how we can support you from either developing a site or using one of ours, just to prove that you are committed and that you can do the job at hand. And then, like, if you want to write and you don't have a presence yet, because yes, not everyone knows exactly what they want to do, especially at school. I think I still don't know what I want to do, but you end up in a situation where we do have a couple of sites from an infrastructure perspective where you can take it over, write about, let's say, Muscandi, for example, and if it works, then you'll be remunerated for whatever happens on that site from the start. But you don't necessarily have to commit to like a genre or what you or like a topic, etc. And then just from a commitment perspective, like, it really is important that if you do want to go down this road, that there is some form of commitment from your side. Like, just having a website or writing, you're not actually going to be able to drive revenue or opportunity if you don't actually update stories and promote it. And I think that's pretty much it. I know Bongs he can pretty much elaborate here a bit about the social page, because we've got Mkaya as an example there.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Good afternoon, everyone. Just to elaborate on that, what we mean with having a large social media page. For an example, we have a guy that I found on Facebook. He was actually, he had a media studies qualification, but because of a lack of jobs, he took a job in retail and started his own Facebook page where he was just updating news as they happen and when he had time. So he had grown the page so well that I saw potential there that he could have a website and maybe monetize that content that he was putting on Facebook for free. And he has grown to become one of our best performing websites so far. And he just told me last week that he has quit his retail job because it was because of time constraints, so that he can fully focus now on his website and develop it and grow further. And because now he can make enough to sustain himself and he sees a future with this because media has always been what he wanted to do. He always wanted to write. He always wanted to be a journalist. So now this has given him that chance to not wait for a job somewhere, but to start something for himself and work for himself. So he's happy with that. And his website is www.tumkaya.co.za if you want to check it out. Yeah, but there's many that we have found on Facebook as well and that we are working with, that we are growing with. But I just wanted to highlight him as one of the examples so far that has grown beyond our expectations, actually, and has taken this opportunity and ran with it and proved that this is really a good opportunity for media studies people, for journalists, because we know that mainstream media is, if they are not retrenching people, they are not hiring. So it's bad. It's really bad, especially if you are starting and you don't have experience. This is an opportunity for you to just gain that experience and work for yourself and create opportunities for other people, because if you take this opportunity seriously enough and you commit to it, you can end up hiring other people as well to work with you. I am proof of that. I have my own website and I've got a freelancer right now working with me, and I'm able to pay him on time and all of that. So it's a great opportunity, and I'm here to help all the other publishers, especially the new ones as well, to help them grow their publications and then become self-sufficient. Thank you.
Perfect, thanks, Bongs. And I think that's it for us. I'll probably go back to this slide. Yeah, Lisa, if we want to open or ask any questions. I said, yeah, we don't really do long presentations.
Short and sweet, but
Yeah.
I think I covered everything. Okay, so let me just open up the microphone. So anyone who would want to ask a question, please do so. Just give me a moment to do that quickly. So just click on the raise button on Teams so that we can see your hand. Then you're welcome to ask your question live. If for some reason you won't be able to ask the question live, please post it in the chat. But while we're waiting for some of you to gather courage to ask your questions, I was just wondering if somebody would now want to get started, where do they start? How do they contact you? How do you start having conversations?
So you can either email myself or Bongs. Maybe Bongs, do you mind checking your email address in the chat, and your phone number, because he loves a WhatsApp, especially 9 p.m. on a Friday. No, I'm joking. Please don't message him on 9 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just start to have a conversation. Like we're human. We're like, it's not like we're bots. Or I know we do a bit of work into Africa as well now, and it's sort of like that. Being able to speak to us, you have such a great opportunity, because we can actually bridge that gap where, like, if you don't have that sort of opportunity, it becomes really hard to get that exposure. So yeah, Bongs' details are in the chat. So if you just drop him an email, he works with probably about 80 other publishers. But we're looking for people who are interested in writing.
And then I was just also wondering about the types of content. So, for example, would it be, obviously it would be written, but when you then have your own website, or, on one of these shared websites, would they, let's say you need images, or things like, multimedia content as well, would that be part of what you can contribute, or is it just focused on sitting down and writing articles?
So it really depends on, I don't know if Bongs wants to answer that, but what do you want to write about? Like, Bongs is a trained sports journalist.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
let me just get on that. We don't restrict, but we advise that people don't write about heavy stuff like crime, shootings, bank robberies, and all of this stuff, because from research we have found that people don't really like reading about that. It's a lived experience that we live with every day, and it doesn't really fly with readers these days. And we know that people don't really like reading anymore, so it's very difficult to make them to want to read. So if it's heavy stuff, they don't really get into it. And maybe before we move on, can I just answer the question there that I see from Nicolette, I think Samantha Nicolette, about internships. It's not an internship, it's an opportunity to work for yourself. With the website that we can let you work on, it's a matter of giving you an opportunity to maybe work for 2 months, 3 months, and we see how serious you are about this opportunity, and then we give you your own website. So it's not an internship per se, but I guess it goes that way, but it's not an internship per se, because the only remuneration you get is if you make money during the time that you are using that website. All that money that you make will go to you, but it's just for us to test how serious you are about this, because we've had instances before where people come to us and they are, they want this, they want a website, and they're excited, and then you give them the website, and when they realize how difficult it is to work, because it's not easy work, it's difficult work, you have to commit, you have to I always make this example that you have to treat it like you have a new baby, that you have to check up on every time, make sure that it's fine. You have to work on it every day, all the time, you don't have time for anything else. So we need to see that commitment first before we give you a website. So that's why we have our own in-house websites that we can let people work on and check how far they go. Then we can, if we feel that they are worth it, then we can then ask them to give us their own website that they want, and then we build the website for them, and they take it on from there, and they can just be independent and work for themselves.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So it's kind of just a trial period to see the commitment. But it also, as let's say I'm the person who's writing, it also gives me the opportunity to test, how committed I am. There's also a question on it. Let's first go to Elisha. Your hand has been up. You're welcome to unmute and ask your question. Elisha Grobelaar.
Hi, thank you so much. So about 7 years ago, I wrote for a local magazine in Kimberley. And then about 3 years ago, I started my own website. And it's actually good to hear, like, I'm not the only one that struggles, because like it does take a lot of time, effort, the content, the strategy, what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. So for me, my content is around Kimberley, like inspirational stories, the history. Actually, there's a lot of ideas, but after a lot of YouTube channels and things like that, and how to monetize it, it's still confusing. And how to, like, I still have the website and I still have the community page on Instagram, and I just have to get started again. But I think my question is like, how do you jump in again, and how do you not get weary of doing it every day, or like monetizing it and like just getting that on again?
Yeah, that's where Andrew comes in, because I was also on the verge of giving up, because we had started a website. We knew nothing about advertising. We knew nothing about monetizing it. We were just thinking, we were just putting money onto the website, paying for it, hosting and everything, and working hard to put out the content. The content was there, the numbers were there, but because we didn't know which doors to go and knock on, to get advertisers, we didn't know how to, or to do anything to do with advertising. All we knew was how to write stories, and good stories that appeal to the reader. And until Andrew came and presented to us like he did today here, and when we liked the idea and we took it on, and that actually took away so much weight off our shoulders, because we then didn't have to worry about advertising at all. We didn't have to worry about going to people and asking them if they want to advertise on our website and all of that. When we started making money off our content, because we had tried Google Ads, and yeah, that is another story for another day. That is very depressing. But he came on and he made it easy for us, because he took away that responsibility, and he's an expert in that field. He knows where to go. He knows the people in that industry. He knows how to navigate that industry. So we focused on just content. And as I am now here with Mother Tongue Media, I'm a publisher, accounts manager, and I deal with publishers. I don't deal with advertising. Actually, I don't even know. I only see when I see on the website which adverts we have. He deals with that completely. And I know it's very difficult. It's a very difficult job. So I wouldn't even want to know how he does it. I'm happy to just write and help other publishers as well to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. It does answer my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisha. There's another question in the chat about Tobakili is asking, do you only work with journalists? Because I'm currently studying law.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
As long as you can write and you have passion, let's say maybe for entertainment, or even you can write about law. As long as you can write and we are willing to commit and work on it, and just we just want anybody who can write responsibly, though. We can't spread lies and rumors about anything, but as long as you can write, as we are passionate about writing, you can come on board. We can see where we can put you, and we work with everyone. We don't necessarily want journalists only. It's ideal to get journalists, but anyone else who wants to write can come on board.
Okay. Thank you.
Like Tobakile, if you can write in, let's say, Tsonga, you can let's say, I'm not sure if you can, but like an example is like there's such an opportunity for someone to own the Tsonga community in South Africa, the same with the Pedi community, and all these communities where that people would be looking for information. It's such an untouched environment that there's such an advantage here, because there's stuff in English out there, but what about the authentic ability? And that's why, if you guys ever look at iafrica.org, that guy's got 7 sites now that are all cultural clan name sites. There's such power within cultures and communities that is just not coming through, unfortunately, from a content side. So yeah, if you want to have a chat, let's chat.
Thank you, Andrew. Talita, your hand is up. You're welcome to unmute and ask your question. Talita. Seems like Talita had to leave. Maybe she'll rejoin. Okay, so for the questions now, I see that you've answered in the chat.
Yeah, but just so everybody knows, yeah, you can contact me. WhatsApp, email, I'm comfortable with both, whatever you're comfortable with, and we can take the conversation forward. And you are very welcome to share with anyone. Even our presentation, especially these points that are on the board right now, they are very important. The more people it reaches, the more better for us. So please share. Don't be scared to share.
Thank you, Sibongiseni. I just also wanted to ask about if you just look at your current publications, the different people who are writing, would you be able to give an idea of more or less how much time would it take for you, let's say in an average week, how much time would you need to budget for writing, in order to build a sustainable audience?
So I think that's it's quite a how long's a piece of string, that sort of question, in the sense that one of our top sites, once he was set up, I don't think he does that much, because it's people who are looking for clan names, etc. So like if you're looking for anything cultural from a Zulu perspective, it just goes to his website. I think like if you look at Bongs, for example, he writes about football. So he actually needs to write about things every day, because like there's new sponsors, people moving, etc. So it really depends on your content. Like if someone was to do a series about traditional plants, once you've explained what that traditional plant is used for, you potentially don't need to do anything else, right? Or like if you did something on dress or cultural attire. But if you're looking at current affairs or news, then you would need to be probably a lot more active.
Thank you, Andrew. Sibongiseni.
Yeah, if I can just jump in there. It depends. I cannot give a specific amount of time, but it takes a lot of hard work in terms of knowing which content will work. But it depends on how long it takes you to write a story, because we don't encourage stories that are long, because most people read these stories on their cell phones. So they have at most 2 minutes to read a story. If a story is more than 2 minutes long, it doesn't do well. People don't even go to the end of it. So it's a matter of, we also lucky that, in the old days, newspapers would have these posters on electricity poles, on light poles and all that. Now we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, where we just put our headlines there. So all it takes is how long you write a story and how long it takes you to just post on social media, and that's it. And you decide how many stories you want to do a day, but we encourage that at least have a minimum of 4 stories a day, because you don't want somebody that went on your website at 7 a.m. while they were in a taxi on their way to work to come back at 1 at their lunchtime and they find the same story there. They need to find a different story. They need to see that this is a serious website that they can rely on for news, whatever it is. It can be sports, it can be entertainment, whatever it is. They need to know that you are a reliable source. So being a reliable source means you have to have more fresh content all the time. So I would say maybe if you're gonna do 4 stories a day, it would be mostly 4 hours of your time a day, but that's taking too far, because you can do a story and share it in 30 minutes tops. If you are a startup, with myself, I can do it in 5 minutes because I'm experienced now. I understand what I'm doing and all of that. But it gets to that point that it becomes sort of effortless. You just you just need the hunger to want to have it. You would want to be one of the best websites, and that's all it takes. You know, you commit to it, and it comes naturally that you just find yourself working even when you don't need to.
Thank you. Talita, I see that you're back in the meeting. You're still welcome to ask your question.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so sorry for the delay that happened. I experienced network problems while I was supposed to comment.
No problem.
Yeah, so I admire the mother tongue publishing opportunity. I graduated in journalism in 2021, but it was difficult to find a job. It was difficult to find internship. I ended up landing on the wrong professional because I had nothing to do. I ended up in HR, but I always wanted to write. I always wanted to tell stories. And then I continued to further my studies. I'm currently studying law with Unisa as we speak, but I don't want to move away from my passion of writing. I don't want to move away from my passion of writing. I love telling stories. So right now, will I be able to tell stories in my mother tongue language? Because nationally, I'm a Pedi, but I gyapa. As Pedis, the Pedis babulela in Sepedi. So I don't know. My language is not yet recognized nationally, but I'm not sure if some of you are aware that there's new educational, so it's more of a cultural and educational soapy, Queen Mujaji. So my language is strictly Kilobedi. I was born and bred in Bulobedi, and I always had passion of telling stories. I always wanted to tell stories in my mother tongue language. Will I be able to do so?
Yeah, 100%. We even just ran a campaign for Queen Mujaji with DSTV. So if we had more Pedi sites, it would have been perfect to have put that association and put that together.
Just quickly from me, get in touch. My email is there, my WhatsApp is there, get in touch. We have one Pedi site that we just did recently, Tabato, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, with a lady that I found on Facebook, Fortunate Ndubane. She's also Pedi, but from Bushbuck Ridge. Her profile will be on our LinkedIn page very soon. You know, she also had this passion for writing in her language. We gave her that opportunity. So this is your opportunity. I'm glad that you are a journalist, and you are the proof of what I was saying earlier, that media companies are either retrenching or not hiring. You know, I was with the Citizen, and as I left in December, and I heard that in March they returned, and they are retrenching again now. So it's very difficult to get jobs in journalism at the moment in the media space. But I'm finding that I don't know this revolution where it started, but people are moving more to their mother tongue languages. As you can see, even programs on TV that are popular in isiZulu, like you say, Queen Mojaji is popular right now. You know, people are enjoying content in their language. You know, in the language that they are comfortable with. They get excited if they hear something in their language, if they read something in their language, even if they can access it in other languages, but it communicates with them better in their own language. So please do get in contact with me, email or WhatsApp. I'm available. We'll take it forward from there.
Thank you very much. There's also a question on the Q&A. The caller is asking, I love literature and writing about books, like reviews. Would that be something that Mother Tongue would publish?
Yeah, I guess it's another kind of writing. It's another kind of journalism. It's another form of journalism. Book reviews, you know, are popular. They've got their own market. So you can reach out to us. We can see what we can do, but maybe you'll need to expand to maybe also do movie reviews, TV show reviews and stuff like that, that is popular, that will make, we had English websites that did that in the old days, and they were very popular. So why not in our language? I'm sure they can be popular in our language as well. It's just that it's not there. And I always hear people saying that, the lady before was saying that her language is not recognized nationally. It is because there are no people writing in Sepedi. It is because there's no websites that write in Sepedi. Even if I wanted to learn Sepedi, where would I get it? Because if I Google a word, I don't trust Google Translate at all, because I've tried it with isiZulu. They give you something that doesn't make sense, that doesn't say what you wanted to say. So if it's there, I'm sure people will take it up. So it's a good opportunity for you to have that website and then do those book reviews, and like I said, maybe expand to other things as well, because there's no limits here.
Thank you very much. I don't see any further questions on the chat. Andrew, I see that you also again shared Sibongiseni's contact details. So anyone who's interested, please follow up with him. And as was mentioned, spread the message far and wide. Everyone who's got a passion or interest in writing is definitely welcome to connect with them. Let me see, is there anybody? I'll give another moment for you to put up your hand if you've got any questions.
I have a question. Where should I send this document?
You can email it to me, Andrew. We will
Perfect.
share it with everyone who registered for the session.
Thank you.
We are also recording the session, and it will be made available to everyone who registered. And we will publish it on our YouTube channel.
Great. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the opportunity. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah. There was one other question that I also had. You mentioned in one of the slides about I think you talked about skills development, or investing in the writers, in terms of developing skills. Would you mind just sharing a bit more about what kind of support is available for writers then from your side?
Perfect. Yeah. So generally what we do is it goes all the way down to hosting sites for guys, because we kind of a situation where people can't afford 100 Rand to host a site, and then their IT guy turns them off. But beyond that, we've also developed a whole bunch of videos on our site just to help people when it comes to how to load content, because a lot of guys will load content, but then they'll forget about a profile picture. So how do we do that to keep a professional look and feel? And then there's all the time as well people get from bongs as well, from like if you have any questions or you're looking for any help with on how to better work your site or post, etc. So yeah, it varies from the technical aspect all the way through to enabling a better sort of working relationship so guys can hopefully get better audiences.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and sorry, just to add on to
Yep.
that, part of the training is that I work with publishers on a daily basis. I help with using social media to enhance your reach, and in terms of content, how to structure content so that it's appealing, and all of that, and how to do headlines that will appeal to the audience, because like I said, people don't want to read, so you have to sort of force them to read. But yeah, so it's all that included in that training that Andrew was talking about.
Thank you, Sibongiseni. Okay, I'm just going to do a few announcements. If you do think of any questions, please feel free to post those in the chat. But also, feel free to reach out to Sibongiseni if you have any questions that you don't want to ask on this platform. So just from our side, from Counselling and Career Development, we host these career talks mostly on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the overall theme is that we want to help students or support them in terms of their career development. So to that end, there's just 2 publications that we found are quite worthwhile in terms of exploring more information about finding opportunities, but then also content around CV writing and networking, going for interviews and so forth. So the first one is this PNET grad pack that's on the screen right now. I will also share a link to the publication in the chat. And then the second book is called Grad Next. Again, the same kind of content, focusing on employability skills, searching for jobs, personal branding, and so forth. So please also take time to use these books. They are available free of charge. Then just in terms of getting a hold of us at Counselling and Career Development, if you'd want to make any follow-ups in terms of your career development, having conversations with us, you're welcome to send us an email. You can also book an online appointment with one of our student counsellors at any time, or then contact a counsellor at a Unisa centre closest to you if you'd want to go and speak to somebody in person. On our website at unisa.ac.za/counselling, there are many resources that you can also use for your academic, your career, as well as your personal development. And then I've already spoken about the YouTube channel. So also go and check out what kind of videos are on there, but it's mostly recordings of sessions such as this one. So there might be others that you have missed out on that you would want to go and watch. And then just in terms of future events, we publish information about all the events on the My Unisa events calendar. So please also just go and check there regularly for updates about events coming up. We should be hosting events until about mid-September. And after that, we will take a break due to exam preparation and exam writing time. The further information contacts would be Mrs. Mandu Makanya, as well as myself. So if you have any comments or you would want to propose any topics that you think we can cover in these events, please send us an email. And that is it from my side. So I'm just going to ask my colleague Becky to please end of the session for us with a thank you. But before we go there, Sibongisini in the chat is just asking that if any of you on the platform knows about websites or blogs that publish in native languages, please also refer those writers to Mother Tongue Media. Okay, thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Begim Zobe, as Lisa indicated. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to Andrew and Seni from Mother Tongue Media for their invaluable contribution as guest speakers today. Their insights greatly enriched the event. Guys, you highlighted a number of things that will greatly benefit our students, especially those who are studying media studies or are in a space of studies. I believe platform will create job opportunities to address the burden of unemployment in South Africa, so that people, they don't wait to be employed, but they can self-employ. Thank you, guys. We appreciate your contribution to elevating unemployment, creating opportunities. To our students, thank you for attending. Once again, thank you all for being here today. We hope you live with wealth of knowledge and inspiration. Look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, Andrew and Sibongiseni. We hope that this is not the last time we engage with you. And also thank you to everyone who attended. We hope that you have a good week further. And as I said, please keep an eye out for next week's and the week after that events that we have arranged. Thank you very much.